Saturday, December 12th, 2020, Monaco 64, home of alternative economics and contrarian views. So the New World Order, the Vatican, they're all coming out in plain sight. They announced a few days ago a plan to save the world, to make capitalism more inclusive. Well, I was predicting that 3 years ago, well, about 3.5 years ago. I did a video back in July of 2017 entitled The Cashless Society, the New World Order, and the Vatican Bank. Yes, of course, the Pope now is involved as well. We saw the Pope meeting, I think it was December 8th. He met with Linda Forrester, de Rothschild. He met with Mark Carney, who's now a UN representative, even though he's a former Goldman Sachs employee. He's the former head of the Bank of Canada. He's the former governor of the Bank of England. He was until March this year. He's been an officer of the Financial Stability Board at the Bank for International Settlements. We've got people from the Ford Foundation, from the Rockefeller Foundations. We've got people from Visa and MasterCard. They want to help poor people, right? So they bring the people who push consumer credit onto the public and charge them double-digit interest rates, right? I'll put a link to the Cashless Society, the New World Order, and Vatican Bank video up in the description. How can the Catholic Church go along with this? Well, I'm not too sure. I guess you can't really judge a book by its cover, right? And Pope Francis, of course, is the first Jesuit Pope. We've known that the Jesuits are heavily involved into the intelligence world. It was the Vatican, of course, that helped set up Operation Paperclip as well after World War II. It allowed a lot of German officials or German, ex-German, how can I say, members of that political party that was very influential in the 1930s and 40s in Germany, go to the United States. So the Vatican has been involved in a lot of shenanigans. We know as well that families like the Rockefellers, the Rothschilds, own and control a big chunk of the central banks. And this is where the Vatican Bank comes in. And I've got several videos about this. You can listen to it, how the Vatican Bank actually helps, or helped at least back in the 70s, helped the New York Fed probably manipulate the price of gold already back then. Paul Volcker at the time was actually president of the New York Fed. You can see here, there's a letter from the head of the Vatican Bank to Paul Volcker about this. I'm not going to go through the story, so you can watch a few videos that I've done about that, about how the Vatican Bank helped the Fed manipulate gold prices to keep gold prices low, to try to hide from the public the fact that the central banks of the world at the time, under the leadership of the Fed, were inflating the system. And inflation, of course, doesn't help the people. So inflation hurts the most vulnerable in society. And now you have these very hypocritical people coming out and saying they're going to save the world. They're going to be guardian angels or guardians of capitalism, inclusive capitalism. And it's interesting because they've got a couple of pages. They've got one here called inc-cap.com. And you can see that Bill Clinton's involved with these people. Very good, isn't it? Bill Clinton. Who else have we got? We've got Prince Charles, who's also involved with the World Economic Forum. Mark Carney, of course, is also in the board of trustees of the World Economic Forum. So all these people are working together. It's not a coincidence. It's not a coincidence theory. It is real conspiracy. These people have been working probably for hundreds of years. I've read many books about the Rothschilds that I have on my shelf, and I'll put it up here just for you to see which ones they are if you might want to read them. And yes, they've been involved not with high net worth individuals, even though they might be more involved with these kind of people now, but they started out dealing for princes, for kings, for principalities, and you can bet that they're probably heavily involved with the Vatican as well. So these people are all working together, and it's interesting because I said in the description of the video from 2017, and I said in this report, I talk about how the project for a cashless society has been a long-term project by the New World Order crowd and how they exploit crises. Well, there you go, 2020, that they themselves create in order to convince the public to give up their freedoms. I'm not saying that today. I said that back in 2017. I also cover the close relationship between the Federal Reserve and the Vatican Bank. So there you go. The interesting thing about this meeting, as you can see, the picture here, I think this was on December 8th. It might have been a few days before, I'm not too sure, but it was this year in December. Look at how they're all standing together, very close to each other. No masks, no social distancing, or as some would say, no socialist distancing, because they are socialists and communists, right? All the people that really are behind the current central banking fiat currency system that has been basically extracting trillions upon trillions from the general public for many, many generations. And these people now are going to be our guardians. Wow, and you can even join their movement. There you go. You're going to become a guardian. Well, I think by now you probably figured whether I'm going to join or not, I think. So what does this Council for Inclusive Capitalism with the Vatican say? It says our guardians, using their combined imagination, influence, and resources to change capitalism for good. We need to read that the other way around, using all their resources to rip the public off even more, to extract even more wealth from you. That's what it means. It's not for good. You can bet this is just the opposite. So what's my advice about this? Well, don't buy into it. Don't believe in what they say just because you've got the Pope and other clerics there. They're working with the people that actually have been robbing you for generations. And this is just so in your face. And as you can see, this is not new to me and it doesn't surprise me. Unfortunately, many people are still not going to believe that this is not a coincidence, that this has been planned for generations. And I want to stress that I'm not trying to blame any kind of religious or ethnic groups here, because as you can see, people from all backgrounds are involved in this, not just certain nationalities, religions, or ethnic groups. I think we need to stop being divisive amongst each other and actually look after ourselves and make sure that we're not ripped off by these people. We really need to know who our enemies are. So there you go. It's all in our faces right now. We've got the New World Order. It's coming. Well, they're trying at least. We've got all the major institutions in the world, the big corporations, the central banks are definitely behind it. The spiritual leader of billions of people, supposedly spiritual leader, the Pope is behind it. But don't fall for it. Look after yourself. Look after your family. Know who your enemy is. And yeah, watch my videos to see how I've tried to give my viewers my opinion of how to protect yourself financially, to remain independent and not have to depend on these people and on their plans that they have for humanity. So there you go. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit the like button. Please share it far and wide. Think about subscribing to the channel if you haven't yet. And you can also follow me on Twitter, Parler, and all these other platforms below here. I wish you all a great rest of the weekend. Take care. Bye.